Welcome to that, everyone, and today I'm going to be doing my top 5 best drafts and top 5 worst drafts and ranking them 1 through 5, and number 1 is best. I'm also going to kind of talk about the players I like and love, kind of to get you a sense of who I liked and who I didn't. And yeah, let's get this started. So first, players that I loved: Zach Wilson, Penei Sewell, Jamar Chase, Micah Parsons, Kadarius Toney, J.C. Horn, Caleb Farley, Christian Darrisaw, Rashad Bateman, Levi Onwuzurike, Ifitu Melifonwu, and Kyle Pitts. Players who I thought were sleepers: Aleem McNeil, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Kenneth Gainwell, Terrace Marshall, Kendrick Green, Simi Fehoko, Walker Little, Andre Cisco, and Dyami Brown. Players who I thought were overrated. Now, I want to say, just because I think they're overrated does not mean I don't think they're going to be good. For example, Rashawn Slater, who I think was a really overrated prospect, I still think is going to be a great tackle in the NFL. I just feel like he was really overrated. And another is Devante Smith. I legitimately thought he was the most overrated receiver in this draft. Amari Rogers. I feel like Packer fans are hyping up this guy when he's not going to be any better than Randall Cobb. I think even worse than Randall Cobb. Josh Palmer. This guy, I don't really understand why people liked him so much. The fact that he's in the third round selection was a reach for me. Tutu Atwell. The guy should not have been a second rounder. He should have been a best of fourth. Javon Holland. I think his size is limited in the NFL. I don't think he was all that special. And Jalen Phillips. The guy has injury issues and had one good year. And it was even better than the top red rusher in Miami, Gregory Rousseau. Players who I didn't like: Justin Fields, Patrick Jones, Cam McGrone, Ian Book, Peyton Turner, Ellerson Smith, Pat Freiermuth, Aaron Banks, and Kellen Mond. I'm kind of split in Peyton Turner. I kind of like him, but at the same time, I really don't like where he was picked. I thought he was a third rounder at best. Players I'm split on: Jalen Waddle, Trey Lance, Davis Mills, and Kyle Trask. So those are just kind of like the players. Now, this is not my entire draft. These are just kind of like the biggest names I really thought would like, that I really kind of looked into. So let's kind of get this into. So we'll start with the 5th best draft in my opinion, and it belongs to the Cleveland Browns. Greg Newsome, J.O.K., Anthony Schwartz, James Hunden, Tommy Tugai, Tony Fields, Richard LeConte, Felton. And so overall, I feel like this is a pretty good draft. I really like Greg Newsome and J.O.K. I also like Hudson. I feel like he's a player who could be a really good swing tackle. I feel like a more athletic version of Joe Krabick, Tommy Tugai. But the problem is, I think Anthony Schwartz was a really big reach in the third round that really held back this draft. I even think Tony Fields is a good value pick as a linebacker. But overall, I feel like the Washington football team, my 4th ranked team, had a far more complete draft. Every player I really liked in this draft: Jamin Davis, Sammy Cosme, St. Justy, Benjamin St. Justy, Dyami Brown, John Bates, Derek Forrest, Cameron Cheeseman. This is also where he held back. I do not like taking long snappers, even in the 7th round. So pick 1-6 is a really big reach for me. William Bradley King, Shaka Tony, and Dax Maline. Every player I like in there. I didn't get a really study Cameron Cheeseman, but special teams, it just seemed because of reach. And it's kind of held me back. Overall, I really like their draft. The only player I think that might have been a reach that wasn't Cheeseman was St. Justy, but I feel like he can also be a really good player. Number 3, the New England Patriots. Mac Jones, I feel like, was a perfect value for the New England Patriots. He's in a system that well fits him. Josh McDaniels is a great quarterback like Mac Jones, and I think Mac Jones was really overhated in this draft process. I kind of like his tape, and we'll see how he does. Christian Barmore, I thought this guy was a first rounder. This guy is a fantastic defensive tackle and was quite explosive last year for the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's going to be really interesting. Ronnie Perkins is a fantastic pass rusher. I think he was a fantastic steal. So far, I have A grade. I even like Stevenson. The only reason I think this means that Sony Michel's roles will be went down a bit by the addition of Stevenson. He's like a really fast version of Samaje Perine. Cam McGrone, I don't like, but I feel like if anyone can make him good, it would be Bill Belichick, due to the fact that he has good size. Joshua Bledsoe is solid, Will Sherman, and Trey Nixon. None of these players are all that impressive to me, but the first 4 players I feel like are going to be really big impact players. And I can even see Cam McGrone and even Joshua Bledsoe. And I think there's even some potential with Trey Nixon. Number 2 draft is Penei Sewell, Levi Onwuzurike, Lee McNeil, Ifitu Melifonwu, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Derek Barnes, and Justin Jefferson. I've already kind of explained why I think this is a top draft. All these players I like. The only player I'm really concerned about is Derek Barnes. The rest I honestly have a good feeling about, and I feel like they're all going to be fantastic players. And number 1, my best draft. The draft I think that is an absolute best. Carolina Panthers, J.C. Horn, Terrace Marshall, Brady Christensen, Tommy Tremble, Chuba Hubbard, Davian Nixon, Keith Taylor, Deontay Brown, Shi Smith, Fletcher, and Phil Hoskins. Every player I like in there. I even think Phil Hoskins is a pretty solid player to get in the 7th round. Either way, every player I like on this draft board, at least until T. Fletcher and Phil Hoskins. I feel like all those players are going to be fantastic. I feel like Shi Smith is honestly a solid replacement for Curtis Samuel. I think Keith Taylor will improve the secondary. Deontay Brown is a solid guard. Tommy Tremble is a really good blocking tight end who can even maybe become a good receiving tight end. Chuba Hubbard is a great running back that could easily be a good running back duo with Christian McCaffrey. Even Nixon, I can't believe he fell as far as he did. I thought he was a really good pass rushing defensive tackle. Ray Christensen was one of the better pass blocking tackles in football and college football last year. I like that. Terrace Marshall was my number 3 receiver in this entire draft. J.C. Horn was my number 1 corner. All really good players. I really love the Panthers draft. Now, 5 worst drafts. LA Rams, Tutu Atwell, Ernest Jones, Bobby Brown, Robert Rochelle, Jacob Harris, Ernest Brown again, different Browns by the way, and Jake Funk. I really don't like any of these players other than Bobby Brown. I don't think Bobby Brown's going to be that much of an impact player. I could maybe see Robert Rochelle and maybe Jacob Harris, but there's so many maybes in your mid-round, and I hate their first 2 selections and the last 2 selections. The only reason that this team might have not been number 1 is because of the reaches of the number 2 team, the Las Vegas Raiders. The thing is, at least I feel like they got some pretty dang good players in there. Alex Leatherwood, while he was a reach, I feel like he can be a good tackle. But nonetheless, it's the 2nd round and 3rd round and the next 3 picks that I really, really like. Trayvon Moenrig, I really liked him as a safety. He was my number 1 safety, other than Andre Sisco. Malcolm Kuntze and Divine Diablo. Why Kuntze was a reach, I feel like he can actually be a pretty solid pass rusher. Divine Diablo, I feel like he's going to be a fantastic safety linebacker hybrid. That's really going to be a good player for the Raiders. But either way, I really just think they had too many reaches. Kuntze was a reach. Leatherwood was a reach. I don't think you should have neither drafted Tyree Gillespie. And really the rest of the players I don't think are all that meaningful. It was just a horrible draft. And I think the only thing that players are going to compete for this draft are going to be good. Diablo, Moenrig, and maybe Leatherwood. Number 3, Pittsburgh Steelers. I really like Kendrick Green. And Najee Harris I feel like can be good. But I don't feel like they should have gone a tight end. I feel like they should have invested far more into their line and maybe even get another receiver. Considering the fact that Juju Smith-Schuster had a really big regression year last year. Maybe even get a potential quarterback of the future, considering the fact Big Ben had a big regression as well at the end of the season. And it's not looking like Mason Rudolph is the future. There are some players I do not think are really all that impressive. That's just my opinion of them, maybe Quincy Roche. Overall, the reason I give this more is I still think I like Najee Harris and Kendrick Green enough to put it not at 2 or 1. And overall, I think it's good. Number 4, the team I actually considered putting at number 3. Justin Fields, Tevin Jenkins, Khalil Herbert, Daz Newsome, Thomas Graham, and Kirsten Oga. Overall, I think Justin Fields will be a bust, but I think Tevin Jenkins and Khalil Herbert and Daz Newsome are going to be fantastic players, and I can even see Thomas Graham be a solid corner as well. Overall, I just think they gave up everything to get Fields, and they had to give up everything to get Jenkins. It was pretty bad. Not to mention, I don't think Herbert will get much playing time. Why I do like him, I just think it was a really dumb move to even select another running back William Montgomery and Terry Cajon. Dez Newsome was a steal in the 6th round, which made it at least number 4. And that's just my opinion. At number 5, Cincinnati Bengals. Selecting only one lineman when your line was just absolutely dreadful, and the only player you brought in was Riley Reef to fix your own line. It's an absolutely terrible move, especially because I do not like Jackson Carman at all. Jamar Chase is fantastic. Joseph Ozai, fantastic. I'm not a fan of Sample. I think Shelvin's a good nose tackle. That's it. Devante Smith I do not like. Evan McPherson does not make any sense to me at all when you just got Matt Prater. Trey Hill, Chris Evans, Wyatt Herbert, I didn't really like all that much. Now here are my honorable mentions for good drafts, in no particular order. The Dallas Cowboys, Giants, and Jags. I feel like those are actually some pretty good drafts. The thing that kept the Jags off for me is I do not like Tyson Campbell, and I don't think they should have gotten drafted as a team when they had James Robinson. But the thing that makes me like the draft so much is the selection of Trevor Lawrence, Andre Sisco, and Walker Little. Now, for honorable mentions for bad drafts, New Orleans, they reached for Peyton Turner. I didn't really like all their draft all that much, such as Ian Book. I really considered it putting it the worst drafts, but I can also still kind of see some of their players be good players. Next is Baltimore. I like Rashad Bateman. I don't think he's a good fit with Lamar. He's more of a contested catch player with good accuracy there, and I don't think Lamar's the type of guy to get you contested catch plays. He's more of a really good at yak thing. That's his strength. That's, in fact, the only receivers I've ever had any success. And that's kind of my big thing. But the thing is, I also like I also like Wallace, and I like their lineman to drafted. Arizona, the thing is, I don't really like the draft, but I also think they got some good players, especially Zayvon Collins, who's my number one linebacker in this draft. So overall, this is my opinions in there. I want to know what your guys' top rankings were. I know this is kind of like really late to have this, but this is kind of like based off of what I've been hearing on the off season, and also I realized I didn't do it, and I wanted to do it. I also have been aware of Aaron Rodgers, and if you think this is going to change the season, I think it might. I think we're going to split with Green Bay, even with Aaron, but we're not going to go 2-0 against them for sure, in my opinion. Overall, this is the video, and I'm happy to be back, and I'll try to be as consistent as possible with you guys. Alright, see you guys. Love you.